Early life and rise to stardom. Born Olive Marie Osmond on October 13, 1959, in Ogden, Utah, Marie was the eighth of 9 children in the Osmond family. Raised in a devout Mormon household, her family's musical talents were evident early on. While her brothers formed the musical group the Osmonds, Marie carved her own path in country music. At just 14, she released her debut single, Paper Roses, which soared to #1 on the country charts and #5 on the pop charts, making her the youngest female artist to achieve such a feat at the time. The pressure of perfection. As Marie's fame grew, so did the pressures of maintaining a certain image. During her teenage years, while co-hosting the Donnie and Marie variety show, she faced intense scrutiny over her appearance. Network executives demanded she lose weight, leading her to adopt extreme dieting measures. Marie later revealed that she would starve herself for days, consuming only lemon water with cayenne pepper and maple syrup in an attempt to meet unrealistic standards. This period marked the beginning of her struggles with body dysmorphia and eating disorders. Personal struggles and triumphs. Beyond the public eye, Marie faced numerous personal challenges. In her memoir, Behind the Smile, she candidly discussed her battle with postpartum depression following the birth of her 7th child. The weight of fame, combined with personal traumas, led her to a breaking point. One night, she handed over her bank card to her babysitter and drove north, seeking solace and understanding. Her openness about postpartum depression has since provided comfort and awareness to countless women facing similar struggles. Advocacy and support. Marie has always been a staunch advocate for her family. When her daughter Jessica came out as a lesbian, Marie publicly supported her, emphasizing the importance of love and acceptance over religious doctrine. She stated, "I love my daughter. She deserves everything that she desires in life." This unwavering support showcased Marie's commitment to her family's happiness and well-being. A legacy of resilience. Throughout her life, Marie has faced numerous challenges, from body image issues to personal losses. Yet she has consistently emerged stronger, using her experiences to advocate for mental health awareness and self-acceptance. Her journey serves as an inspiration, reminding us of the strength found in vulnerability and the importance of staying true to oneself. Marie Osmond's story is not just one of fame and success, but also of resilience, authenticity, and the enduring power of love and support. Marie Osmond, A Life Shaped by Light and Shadows, continued. As a child, Marie often questioned her capacity to be loved. "I actually thought I was different," she admitted, referencing the emotional toll the abuse had taken on her by the tender age of 8 or 9. This deep-rooted pain affected her adult relationships, fostering insecurities that manifested in comparisons with other women and emotional distance with men. And yet, there was a beacon of strength in her life, her father and brothers. Their support became a sanctuary, offering a new model of masculinity defined not by harm, but by empathy, consistency, and genuine care. With their love, Marie began to rebuild her faith in relationships and, more importantly, in herself. Despite the hardships, Marie Osmond's love life was nothing short of colorful. As a well-known television personality in the late 1970s, she found herself in the company of many prominent entertainers. Among her early romantic interests was Michael McDonald of the Doobie Brothers. "He was probably the object of my first serious crush," Marie recalled fondly. Then there was the late Andy Gibb, a young musical prodigy whose charm left a lasting impression on her. "I loved him," she would later confess, her face lighting up at the memory. Her connection with David Cassidy, the heartthrob of the Partridge Family, seemed destined, at least on paper. Both were young, famous, and adored by millions. But sometimes the reality doesn't match the fantasy. Marie described their studio time together with humorous honesty, quipping, "It's not going to happen. His butt is smaller than mine." With that, another potential celebrity romance fizzled out before it ever truly began. At 22, Marie took a leap of faith and married Steve Craig in 1982. But just 3 years later, she filed for divorce, signaling the end of a union that had barely begun. She found love again with Brian Blossil, whom she married in 1986. This marriage endured longer and brought 7 children into the world. But by 2005, cracks had begun to show. That same year, during a speaking engagement in California, tragedy struck. A fire broke out at Marie's Utah home, where several of her children were staying with Brian. Though no lives were lost, the emotional impact was devastating. Marie saw the incident as a wake-up call, a divine message that forced her to reassess the state of her life. In March 2007, she and Brian announced their separation, marking the end of a marriage that had lasted over 2 decades. But life, as Marie has often said, is full of surprises. In 2011, in an unexpected twist straight out of a romantic novel, Marie remarried her first husband, Steve Craig. It was a reconciliation that she viewed as divinely orchestrated, a second chance at happiness with the man she had once let go. For Marie, their reunion wasn't just about rekindled romance. It was about healing, growth, and destiny. Motherhood has been a constant thread through Marie Osmond's life. The birth of her first child in 1983 marked the beginning of a journey that would span over 2 decades and include 8 children. But like many women, Marie's path through motherhood wasn't always smooth. After the birth of her 6th child, she began experiencing what many dismissively refer to as the baby blues. Yet after giving birth to her son Matthew in 1999, she descended into a much darker place. The diagnosis: postpartum depression. In a candid interview with television media, Marie explained the depth of her suffering. Her depression wasn't just a fleeting sadness. It was an all-consuming despair that left her feeling isolated and hopeless. "I remember walking into my closet, shutting the door, and just sobbing," she said. "I didn't know what was wrong with me. I just knew I didn't feel like me anymore." Marie's willingness to discuss postpartum depression publicly helped shed light on a condition that many women feel ashamed to admit. Through her advocacy, she brought attention to the importance of maternal mental health and helped countless women recognize they weren't alone. Marie Osmond's life is a patchwork of triumphs and tribulations, each stitch telling a story of resilience, vulnerability, and hope. Whether confronting her past, navigating heartbreak, or sharing her experiences with depression and abuse, Marie has consistently chosen transparency over pretense. Her legacy isn't just in her music, television shows, or best-selling books. It's in her courage to confront the darkness and use it as a beacon for others. In a world that often demands perfection, Marie Osmond's story reminds us that strength is found in honesty, and that healing begins when we dare to speak the truth. And perhaps that is Marie's greatest gift, not just her voice, but her unyielding commitment to use it for something greater than fame. In a candid interview from 1999, Marie Osmond openly discussed the intense struggles she faced with postpartum depression. According to her, the experience left her physically and emotionally incapacitated. She recalled being so exhausted and overwhelmed that even her arms wouldn't move due to severe muscle spasms brought on by stress. In a moment of crisis, Marie left her children with a babysitter and drove away, needing space to cope. When she returned days later, the signs of deep depression were undeniable. In a heartfelt conversation with Oprah Winfrey in 2010, Marie confessed that she had experienced suicidal thoughts during her battle with postpartum depression. She described sitting in her car, haunted by the idea that the world might be better off without her. However, her natural resilience, bolstered by years in the public eye and inner strength, helped her recognize that these fears were unfounded and that she still had a purpose to fulfill. In August 2006, rumors swirled in the media regarding Marie's health. Some speculated about a possible suicide attempt, but her spokesperson was quick to deny those claims. The incident, they clarified, was the result of a reaction to medication. Despite the lack of clarity, her team assured the public that Marie was simply on vacation with her family, trying to rest and recover. Another public health scare occurred in 2007 during a live broadcast of Dancing with the Stars. Following an energetic samba performance, Marie fainted on stage as the judges offered their feedback. While concerning at the time, her reaction afterward brought some levity. She quipped, "Oh crap, I fainted on live TV," drawing laughter and easing tension. Despite the scare, her determination and ability to find humor in adversity remained hallmarks of her personality. The episode served as a wake-up call. Marie came to understand the broader impact her health had on her family. One moment that struck her particularly hard was when her son expressed his wish for her to be present for his future children. This powerful revelation inspired Marie to make a change. She teamed up with Nutrisystem, lending her voice and visibility to a company focused on healthy weight loss and well-being. By the time her tenure on Dancing with the Stars concluded, Marie had shed a considerable amount of weight and had begun a new chapter of personal transformation. But amid all the public triumphs and transformations, Marie endured the most profound heartbreak of all, the death of her son Michael. Michael had long battled depression and other mental health issues. Although he had assured others that he would no longer attempt self-harm, the pain remained a persistent shadow in his life. Tragically, Marie missed a final call from Michael as she prepared to go on stage with her brother Donnie. Later, a phone call from the coroner's office shattered her world. The autopsy revealed that Michael had sustained multiple blunt force injuries from falling from a great height. There was no alcohol or drugs in his system. Marie was devastated. He had left her a note detailing his struggles, and she later disclosed that he had been subjected to bullying. The emotional toll was immense. But Michael's passing wasn't the only devastating loss Marie would endure. In 2004, her mother Olive Osmond passed away following a stroke. Her father, George Osmond, died in 2007 at the age of 90. Though he lived a long life, losing him was still a deep blow to Marie's heart. The tragedies continued in 2014, when a freak accident involving a moving truck claimed the life of Marie's 7-year-old niece, the granddaughter of her brother, Jay Osmond. The news resurrected the deep pain Marie had felt after losing her own son. Then, in 2022, another cruel twist of fate. Chris Mortensen, the father of Marie's granddaughter, was fatally shot in a road rage incident. The heartache was compounded when Marie's nephew died unexpectedly in 2018, possibly due to an undiagnosed medical condition. The toll on the family didn't end there. In 2019, Marie revealed that her family had endured a series of health scares. Several of her brothers, Jimmy, Tom, and Verl, suffered strokes and required heart surgeries. Even Donnie Osmond was scheduled for a medical procedure. Understandably, family gatherings during this time were fraught with stress and anxiety. Yet through it all, Marie never let despair consume her. Her Mormon faith remained a guiding light, even during the darkest periods. As she once said in a deeply personal interview, "I've faced a lot of loss and hardships in my life, but I truly believe that faith can carry you through even the toughest of times." Despite the unimaginable grief and setbacks, Marie Osmond has maintained her signature sense of humor. During a 2019 episode of Watch What Happens Live, she joked about possibly ending her long-running Las Vegas show with her brother. "You know, Donnie's getting old," she quipped, adding with a sly smile, "We're thinking maybe this year, but who knows?" Their residency at the Flamingo Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas had originally been slated for a mere 6-week run, but thanks to its resounding popularity, Donnie and Marie remained for an astonishing 11 years. As 2019 drew to a close, they bid farewell to their Vegas audience. Some speculated that the show's ending was the result of behind-the-scenes tension, but those assumptions were quickly laid to rest the following year, when both siblings publicly reaffirmed their mutual respect and affection. Theirs is a relationship built on decades of family bonds, stage chemistry, and shared resilience, proof that even the most public partnerships can weather the test of time. Marie Osmond's journey is one of brilliance shadowed by heartbreak, triumph anchored by tragedy. And yet, through every loss and every hard-won victory, she has remained unapologetically herself, authentic, humorous, and resilient beyond measure. Marie was there for Donnie's Sin City solo show just as she had been throughout their careers. When she walked onto that stage beside her brother, the applause was thunderous, a reminder of the decades they had enchanted audiences together. Donnie, ever the grateful sibling, posted an emotional message to his fans. "Together again. Words can't even begin to describe how amazing it felt to have my sweet sister join me at my show." This heartwarming moment came just weeks before their final Las Vegas performance as a duo. In August 2019, Marie transitioned into a new chapter, joining CBS's daytime show The Talk as a co-host. She stepped into the role previously held by Sarah Gilbert, bringing her signature blend of warmth, candor, and charisma to the show. However, just a year later, Marie made a deeply personal decision. After countless years spent juggling the demands of fame and motherhood, she opted to take a step back. Marie and Steve Craig, her husband, once divorced and then remarried in a surprising full-circle love story, found themselves at home alone after their last two children left for college. It was a rare and precious moment for the couple, a time to reconnect without the noise of television schedules and packed auditoriums. Marie made it clear she was ready to prioritize her family, to be present for the quiet moments, the morning coffees, and the late-night talks with Steve. Though she stepped away from daily television, Marie was far from retiring. Her career continues to span genres and generations. From writing best-selling books and appearing in national advertisements to starring on Broadway and dazzling fans on Dancing with the Stars, she remains a beloved, multifaceted entertainer. Yet Marie is not only a singer and actress, she is also a savvy businesswoman. Her line of porcelain dolls, a cherished fixture on QVC, has become a hallmark of her entrepreneurial acumen. With an estimated net worth of over $20 million, Marie could easily rest on her laurels. But she doesn't. Her energy remains tireless, her ambition undiminished. That said, Marie has made headlines for a rather unconventional decision. She has no plans to leave her wealth to her 7 children. This revelation sent ripples through her fan base and sparked fiery debate among her fellow co-hosts during her time on The Talk. But Marie stood her ground. In her view, handing wealth to her children without effort on their part would do more harm than good. "It's not helping your kids if you give them money," she has said. "It's unfair. It robs them of the opportunity to learn grit." Her approach may be unconventional, but it reflects a profound belief in the importance of self-reliance and resilience. Marie's stance is informed by a life filled with both privilege and struggle. She understands the challenges of being raised in the public eye, of growing up with fame but still needing to earn one's way. Rather than financial inheritance, she sees her most valuable legacy as the values and life lessons she's imparted to her children. And by all accounts, her children are thriving. They have forged their own paths, bolstered by their mother's support, not her checkbook. One of the most powerful examples of Marie's devotion to her children is her relationship with her daughter, Jessica. Adopted at the age of 2, Jessica has always held a special place in Marie Osmond's unshakable love and unconventional legacy. When Jessica, Marie Osmond's daughter, came out as a lesbian, the public braced for controversy. Marie's background as a devout member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints had long been part of her public identity, and the media quickly began speculating about how she would respond. Would she struggle to reconcile her faith with her daughter's truth? Would there be distance, disapproval, or silence? Instead, Marie responded with something far more powerful than a statement. She responded with love. Unapologetic, unconditional love. Marie embraced Jessica both privately and publicly, putting to rest any doubts about where her heart stood. She showed the world that faith and acceptance are not mutually exclusive. In doing so, she became a beacon of compassion for families navigating similar journeys. Her message was clear. Love transcends differences. Family comes first, and a mother's embrace should never be conditional. Today, Jessica is happily married to her wife, Sarah, and their love stands as a living testament to the kind of support and acceptance Marie offers her children. Far from a quiet compromise, Marie's stance was bold and countercultural in many religious and entertainment circles. It wasn't a calculated PR move, it was a mother's instinct, to stand by her child without hesitation. But Marie's approach to motherhood hasn't stopped there. Over the years, she's made headlines for another unexpected decision, choosing not to leave her fortune to her children. In a world where celebrity inheritance tales often revolve around disputes and entitlement, Marie's reasoning is strikingly different. It's not about punishment or rejection. It's not a matter of control. It's about empowerment. "I'm not leaving my children money," she stated in an interview that shocked many fans. That's not what builds character. For Marie, the choice stems from deep personal values, rooted in both faith and experience. She believes that her children are fully capable of creating their own paths, writing their own stories, and learning the hard-earned lessons that come with self-reliance. She's not turning away from them. She's lifting them up with trust. Marie Osmond's radical love, redefining parenthood, wealth, and legacy. When people think of Marie Osmond, they often picture a sparkling entertainer, one who graced television screens with her charming smile, sweet voice, and enduring stage presence. But beneath the glittering image is a woman who has built her life on values far deeper than fame, fortune, or even public approval. At the core of Marie's world is her family, and her parenting philosophy reveals a quiet yet powerful commitment to raising strong, independent individuals who can stand on their own, even if that means making bold, unpopular decisions. One of the most talked about examples of this philosophy is Marie's public declaration that she will not be leaving her substantial fortune to her children. In an industry where wealth is often passed down with little thought for its long-term consequences, Marie's choice stands out. But to her, it isn't about denying her children anything. It's about believing in them completely. That belief is evident in the way she shows up for her children, celebrating their victories, comforting them during setbacks, and offering steady guidance without ever attempting to control their paths. Her love isn't transactional, it isn't calculated, and it certainly isn't measured in financial terms. It's consistent, grounded, and deeply rooted in trust, in who her children are, and more importantly, in who they're still becoming. "Money can't buy character," Marie once said in a candid interview. "But the chance to earn your own success? That builds something no inheritance ever could." It's a sentiment that sparked debate. To some, her decision is courageous, even visionary. They applaud her for encouraging self-reliance in an age where entitlement can easily be mistaken for love. Others, however, have criticized her approach, calling it unnecessarily harsh or out of step with modern expectations. But for Marie, the choice is neither about pleasing the public nor conforming to conventional parenting norms. It's about equipping her children with tools that she believes are more valuable than money: grit, accountability, humility, and inner strength. Marie's stance doesn't come from a place of distance. It comes from a lifetime of experience. She has faced more than her share of personal trials, many of them in the unforgiving spotlight of celebrity culture. She has experienced the grief of losing a child, the heartbreak of divorce, the battle of depression, and the constant pressure to maintain an image that isn't always easy to carry. She's reinvented herself time and again, not because she had to, but because life demanded it. And through every chapter, one thing has remained constant: her ability to rise. That resilience, that inner strength, is precisely what she hopes to pass on to her children. Not through inheritance checks or material comfort, but through lived example. Her children have watched her navigate the hardest moments of her life with grace and courage. What better legacy could she leave than the blueprint of emotional endurance? Marie's parenting style also cuts against the grain of Hollywood's often superficial value system. In a culture obsessed with image and excess, her authenticity is a breath of fresh air. She doesn't claim to be perfect. She doesn't try to be. Instead, she leads with honesty. She shares her struggles openly, and by doing so, she's created space for others to be vulnerable too. This openness was perhaps never more visible than in her unconditional support for her daughter Jessica, who came out as a lesbian. A moment that many expected would cause friction, given Marie's religious background. But instead of controversy, what the world witnessed was a profound act of maternal love. Marie didn't hesitate. She didn't flinch. She stood by her daughter publicly and privately, making it clear that her faith and her love could coexist without conflict. Marie Osmond, redefining legacy with love and courage. There are certain moments in life, small but powerful, that reveal the true nature of a person. For Marie Osmond, those moments have accumulated into a portrait of a woman who has spent her life walking her own path. She's not just a celebrity or entertainer. She's not simply a mother or a philanthropist. Marie Osmond is a woman who consistently challenges the status quo, makes bold decisions that raise eyebrows, and lives by a philosophy rooted in love, integrity, and a deep understanding of what truly matters. Whether she's standing by her daughter with unwavering support, deciding not to leave her fortune to her children, or speaking openly about mental health and personal grief, Marie refuses to live according to other people's expectations. She doesn't conform for applause. She doesn't soften her views for the sake of public approval. Instead, she leans into authenticity, often at the risk of controversy, and that is precisely what makes her so compelling. Marie Osmond is not a woman who follows tradition for tradition's sake. She questions it. She reevaluates it. And when it no longer serves the values she holds dear, she redefines it. That's evident in her parenting approach, which prioritizes emotional strength, resilience, and independence over financial comfort. It's seen in her choice to raise children who know how to thrive on their own, rather than depend on wealth they didn't earn. And it's reflected in her belief that love doesn't always mean giving. It often means letting go, standing back, and believing someone you raised is capable of forging their own future. Her stance isn't without critics. To some, Marie's philosophy may seem too harsh or overly idealistic. In a society where financial security is often equated with love and responsibility, the idea of withholding inheritance may sound radical, even cruel. Why not make things easier for your children when you have the means? Why risk their struggle when you can spare them? But that's the very point Marie is trying to make. She doesn't view struggle as something to be feared, but as something that shapes character. She believes that self-reliance and perseverance are not just admirable traits. They are necessary tools for a fulfilling life. Money can't buy character, she once said, but the chance to earn your own success, that builds something no inheritance ever could. To her, real parenting means preparing your children for a world that won't always be gentle. It means encouraging them to discover their own purpose, their own passions, and their own strength, not handing them a safety net so large they never need to jump. And yet none of this means she loves her children any less. In fact, her approach may reflect a deeper form of love, one that's willing to be misunderstood for the sake of long-term growth. It's a love that empowers rather than enables, that stands firm rather than indulges. It's a love that says, I believe in you so much that I know you don't need me to make your life easy. You just need me to believe you can do hard things. Marie Osmond's legacy won't be measured in how much money she passed down. It will be measured in the strength of the children she raised, in the values she instilled, in the grace and grit she modeled when life tested her, and it did, many times. When Gene was the far-out success-related whether that can be an operate now and campaign his class, her story invites a larger question. What does it truly mean to leave a legacy? Is it about leaving wealth or leaving wisdom? Is it about building an empire for your family or building character within your family? We all have different answers to those questions. But Marie's life offers a compelling argument for choosing the latter. So what about you? What do you think of Marie Osmond's unconventional approach to parenting and legacy? Is it a breath of fresh air in a world obsessed with wealth and comfort? Or is it too extreme in a time where many families are struggling just to stay afloat? Would you do the same if you were in her shoes? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your perspective in the comments, and if this story gave you a new lens through which to view family, parenting, or personal values, consider subscribing for more profiles that go beyond the surface. Because behind every headline, there's a human story worth telling. And until next time, remember, real love isn't proven by what we give, it's shown by how deeply we believe in the people we love to grow on their own.